Now, get ready for something different.
In the early 90s, the electronic music scene in Reykjavik grew larger, and with it came a whole new generation of musical artists. In the beginning of the new millennium, people began to lose interest in the scene, but during recent years, attempts have been made to bring the audience back to the electro scene. So what does the electronic music really sound like that comes from a place where the continental plates scrape against each other?
When we started making our music, it was nothing pop about it. There was nothing to categorize it really. It was something that like people couldn't put their finger on and still haven't really been able to like categorize really. Everybody likes it, but they don't really know what to do with it.
I have a lot of friends who are musicians, and we hang out in just like more than just making music together or what like this, and just meeting up, having some soup, chatting. It's in that way we're more like a family, you know. The Icelandic electronic scene is probably even more known overseas than in Iceland. It's always been like this. When if it takes, for example, like Björk and Sigur Rós and Goskos, they became famous overseas before they actually became famous in Iceland, kind of. This is typical live set track. I was about 14 years old. I spent all my money that I got from my christening into buying equipment and started making music. Yeah, then it's just kind of evolves. You get in contact with more people who listen, and you educate yourself more, and you get deeper and deeper and deeper, and now I just can't get up.
Nothing compares to the original sound from like hardware equipment. This right here, it's a synthesizer and a drum machine at once. I have a sampler here, just to put samples on, you know, each pad. Then I have a Yamaha synth over here. This is a Chaos pad, effects on it. You can sample on it, or you can DJ. Then there's the mothership. You have to have a mixer to make it all happen. I need bigger one really. This is like Marlin's first drum machine. A lot of potential in here. We just have to like tame it a little bit. Then we have a Korg. It's also a vocoder to change your voice. And then computer, where you can go and do anything you want to. You can get any instrument you want to and put it in here digitally and make it happen. And that's all like really got visible right now.
Tanya and her cousin Marlon create music under the name PLX. Tonight they are out recording sounds. Sounds that they will use to create music later on.
We have like a love for frequency and like deep, like, you know, and it's so electric. But at the same time, then we're using maybe organic sound. Just getting just the whole spectrum of the sound.
And then when you bring nature into it, it becomes like organic plus mechanic.
I feel like I feel more in the music when when it's a sound that's alive. Okay, so we have to go into the graveyard.
Yeah. There's one instrument we have there.
I go here a lot. It's starting to look familiar. It might be somewhere over here. Okay, let's see how it sounds today. Absolutely obsessed with this fence. It always has the same kind of tone though. It's always like... I really don't know what else to do. What else I'm supposed to do than do music. I always get bored at jobs, and I have a problem with being 9 to 5.
If people are living electronic music, it's not by releasing it, and it's more by performing and making jingles for commercials or TV shows.
You know, computer games even, and I don't have to sell out much. I just do a little anthem, and you know, and maybe that brings in a little payroll.
But you're working now?
And I have to work now, yes.
Releasing music, no, you cannot make a living, especially in Iceland. If you're focused on the Icelandic market, electronic music, selling about 50 CDs is amazing.
It's February 2011. 1 week before we arrived to Iceland, we learned that Sigurbjörn Þorgrímsson, a pioneer in the electronic music scene, has passed away. During the 90s, Sigurbjörn was one of the main creators of the Icelandic up-and-coming electro scene. The audience knew him by his stage name Biogen, while his closest circle of friends called him Bjössi.
When I was just starting making music, he was one of the main guys in this old-school hardcore, this rave scene here.
You know, he was this inspiration for like almost everybody here.
And he always went his own ways, and this is what made him such a big impact, because the ways he was going were sometimes other people were following.
He did music with me. He was my producer also, and he produced Weirdcore Nights.
A few years into the new millennium, people began to lose interest in electronic music. The underground scene was instead dominated by hip-hop and indie music. However, in 2006, Tanya and Biogen managed to reignite the electro scene.
I was going to start doing music again, performing, and I really didn't have any scene to go to. There was only a few bands doing something, but not active much here in Iceland. And so I had to create a venue for myself. I started to finding people on MySpace or something, saying like, "Are you still doing something?" And some people were like, "Yeah, like definitely. I just same as you. I didn't know what to do."
Well, they had this group of experienced artists, and they're trying to bring new group into it and kind of make like a small family around this and educate each other.
By finding new artists that were eager to perform, they organized gigs that they called Weirdcore Nights.
And then we just started doing this every month, and more people to start doing music, and it just started growing. And now we have a well-established scene.
It started out pretty good, but it kind of lost momentum, and now with the loss of Biogen, it's basically, I think Weirdcore will die with him, unfortunately. But it is a good plan, and I think it will be done again in the future, and hopefully, I hope so actually, because the scene needs it.
In a couple of days, Sigurbjörn Þorgrímsson's funeral will take place in this church in Reykjavik. And in a week, on the day he would have turned 35, a memorial concert will be held in his honor.
Now this was magic to me the other day when I was feeling really sad about Bjössi being gone and everything like that. I didn't really know what to do with myself, and somebody brought me this. And you can create a lot of sound from here. You got all these knobs and all these little buttons here. You can plug any instrument into here that is electronic, and you can make it extra special. So this is my comfort machine right now. I don't own it, but I love it still. Maybe I could pretend to own it for a little while.
He had such a great presence and great charisma, and so the scene now doesn't have this face. It doesn't have the leader, and I think this will be an interesting time for electronic music. What's going to happen? I don't know.
You going to the funeral?
Yeah.
I was trained in meditation since I was a little girl. Like I was 3 years old. doing transcendental meditation, and I would feel vibrations coming from my chakra points, like I feel vibrations coming all over the place. And then in electronic music, it has a frequency that does touch these points. When I hear a certain sound, it just opens up to certain areas. So it's just like meeting home, you know? And every sound that I create, I'm just trying to find what harmonizes with me, what just opens this up and makes me really happy. It does come in other music also, but it particularly in electronic music, I can tune things manually by myself to fit that fits with me. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. They just don't know how to speak of it, and they're not thinking about it, but you can see it by the way they dance, that they're feeling what I'm feeling also. We have it in common. I don't think my music is there's no formula to it, and there's no like mainstream influence on it. It's just an experience, and everything in life to me has a sound. Color, numbers, earth, people, everything has a sound. So it eventually will be channeled in what I do. To me, God is music. It's just a sound, and everything is a sound. This country has a lot of raw energy, you know? It's like, it's so new just for Earth, you know? It's just an island that's still like in the making. Everything that comes from the plants, from nature, has a frequency, has a sound that you have also. I think the people here, even though they don't have to speak of it even, I feel everybody has music in them, a connection with nature and the sounds that we hear and feel, the vibrance of it. I think that has some sort of, it gives us this musical energy.
Underground electronica and stuff like this now it's in this place where it could actually just collapse or go up, because we have a lot of talented artists, but it's not enough just to be a talented artist. You have to get yourself out there, and this is what needs to be done, and needs some people to step up and try to lead the way.